Hello and welcome to day 22. Today we're going to do thread the needle, just to stretch the spine, a little bit of twist. So when you're ready, we'll come to seating with the hands at heart center. Then inhale, sweep those hands all the way up overhead, reaching out through those fingers. Exhaling over towards the right, sweeping the left hand overhead, just stretching it through the left side body. Then inhale, sweep back up towards center. Exhaling over towards the left, right hand comes overhead. Feeling that stretch in towards the right side body. Then inhaling to come back up center. Going to go through a little quicker, so exhaling over towards the right. Inhaling to sweep back to center, exhaling towards the left. Inhaling to lift, exhaling towards the right. Inhaling to lift to center, exhaling down towards the left. Inhaling back up towards center. Your next exhale, we're going to spread those hands all the way out to the side. Then inhaling, turn those palms open, stretching up overhead. Exhaling to lower, keeping those hands and fingers engaged. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to lift. And then one more time, exhaling to lower. And inhaling to lift. And on exhale, drop those hands down to heart center. Then from here, we're going to come in towards that bound angle, just bringing those feet together, grabbing onto those feet or onto those ankles. Just fluttering those knees a little bit, creating that movement. Then your next inhale, we're going to sweep those knees all the way up towards the chest. Then exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift, exhale to lower. One more time, inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. Then we're going to place those hands and knees, drawing those knees in towards the chest, giving ourselves a hug. Then on exhale, we're going to come in towards that tabletop, so coming up to those hands and knees, fingers spread wide, shoulders and wrists in line, knees and hips in line. On inhale, rotate towards that cat. Exhale and drop the belly, lifting the head, coming towards your cow. Inhale towards your cat. Exhaling down towards your cow. Inhaling to lift. Then exhaling to lower, lifting through the head. Inhaling to rotate back towards your cat. Exhale to drop down towards your cow. One more, inhaling around that spine, chin to chest, and exhaling to lower. Then we'll come back with the flat back in towards that tabletop. Your next inhale, we're going to lift up that right hand. So we're going to draw some circles. So inhaling to lift, rotating all the way up and down. Going for 2 more times. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling to lower. Then we'll switch direction after the 3rd time. So inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Just stretching out through that right shoulder. And then we're going to come back to that tabletop, then exhaling to sink back down towards that child's pose. Just relaxing the body here, settling out that breath. Coming back in towards those deep inhales and slow exhales. Just acknowledging how your body feels today, noticing how your mind feels. And your next inhale, we're going to slowly start to lift. We're going to curl those toes under, lifting up, pushing back towards that downward dog. Lifting those hips high. Then your next inhale, we're going to push forward to that high plank. Exhaling to lower all the way down towards the ground, uncurling those toes. Then inhale, we're just going to lift towards that low cobra. Keeping those hands onto the ground, just bending through the elbows. Then exhaling to drop that chest. And maybe just 2 more times. So inhaling as you lift, maybe going a little bit deeper. Stretching it through those arms. Keep staying grounded into the hands. Then exhaling to lower. And then 1 more time. So inhaling as you lift, again going a little bit deeper, pushing into the tops of those toes. Feeling that stretch of the spine. Then exhaling to lower. And then curling those toes under, we're going to lift up to high plank, then exhaling and push back towards that downward dog. Your next exhale, dropping down those knees, coming towards that tabletop. And then we'll rotate through that left shoulder, so inhaling to lift, reaching all the way through those fingers, exhaling to lower. Inhale to lift, so 1 more, exhaling to lower, and inhaling to lift. Then switching direction, reaching out, opening up through the left shoulder. And then coming back towards that tabletop. And then exhaling to sink back down towards that child's pose. Sinking down on towards those heels. Being aware of that breath. Your next inhale, slowly starting to lift, coming back towards that tabletop. Then your next inhale, we're going to sweep that right hand all the way up overhead, reaching through those fingers, open up through the chest. Then exhale, we're going to pull that right arm through to that left side, coming down that right shoulder, dropping down the side of your head. Pressing in towards that left hand, lifting through that left elbow. Or if you choose, you can lift that left hand all the way up overhead, open up that chest just a little bit more. Choosing where you want that hand placement. Or if you wish, you can curl those toes under as well if you need a little bit more balance. Stretch at the bottom of the feet. Just finding what feels comfortable for you. Just trying to relax in the pose. Bringing awareness to the breath. Feeling the stretch through the spine and through that right shoulder. And then on your next inhale, ground in towards that left hand. Then slowly starting to lift, coming back up towards that tabletop. Then we're going to stretch out the spine a little bit. So we're going to rotate that right shoulder over towards the right side with the hips over towards the right, creating that C. Then drawing it over towards the left side. Inhaling back to center, exhaling over towards the right. Inhaling to center, then drawing those hips and the shoulder over towards the left. Inhaling to center. And then we'll stretch up that left hand. Open up the chest and exhaling to pull that left arm through to that right side. Grounding in towards that right hand. Stretching it through the left fingers. Again, finding that placement that works for you. Whether the hand is above head, just open up that chest a little bit more. Curling those toes under. You can always try one way and simply come back to it. This is your practice, and I'm just here guiding you through it. And then when you're ready, you can slowly press in towards that right hand to slowly start to lift, rising back up towards that tabletop. And then we're stretching it through the spine, so drawing the hips and the shoulder over to the left side. Inhaling to center, then over towards the right. Inhaling to center, exhaling towards the left. Inhaling to center, then over towards the right. Come back to neutral, and curling those toes under, lifting up, pressing back towards that downward dog. Taking a moment, pedal at those feet. Then we're going to bend through those knees, maybe find a little bit deeper stretch through that spine, those arms. Then coming back towards the downward dog, then inhaling to lift, lowering down towards the tabletop. Then keeping those toes curled under, we're going to sit back onto those heels to stretch at the bottom of those feet. Stretching it through those toes, focus on that breath. And then slowly lifting up, uncurling those toes. Your next inhale, sweeping those hands all the way up overhead, exhaling down towards heart center. And we'll see you for day 23.